June 25th, 2012 is an auspicious day for a local singer and songwriter. It's the national release date of the single entitled Open by Brian Owens. It's also on Owens' new album and the latest development in a career that's poised to take off.
Lovely day, just to see the view that you've never seen before.
Is Brian Owens the new face of soul?
Enjoy the time and space you were meant for.
According to the buzz in the music industry, yes.
We certainly think so. Very unique.
Wes Harsley is founder and president of Destined to Be One Records and is releasing Owens' new CD.
I think one of the unique things about him is that his vocal range is tremendous. But he also has a certain passion in his voice that comes across when he sings. That you find out when he's singing, you find yourself stopped to pause and trying to figure out, who is this? Is this a Sam Cooke? Is this Curtis Mayfield? Is it Al Green? You find yourself guessing, but all of those artists leaves happy, warm feelings with most people who love music. And Brian's voice is a very relaxing voice that seems to work very well for him.
I grew up singing in church, and churches that I grew up in were all a cappella. That's all we did was sing. But I was surrounded by people who could have had professional careers, chose not to, only sang at church. I think early on I sang because that's what you did. We just sang. I mean, it was just a part of the culture in my home was you sang. The culture of my life, we sing. That's what we do. We get together, we sing harmony.
But Owens also grew up consumed by basketball. It wasn't until his senior year at Belleville West High School that his perspective started to shift.
And my coach sat me down because I was a varsity starter. And he said, you know, you can do music your whole life, but you can only play you can only play high school basketball, you know, for a certain amount of time. Like, this is a special time in your life. You're going to be a senior next year. So the conflict was, at our school, you had a certain amount of hours that you had to fill up, obviously. So you couldn't have like music and a sports PE because they were both like extracurricular, whatever. So when he told me that, what I heard him really say was, you probably won't play basketball past high school, but you'll sing for the rest of your life. I was like, good point. So I quit. Just like that.
No regrets.
No regrets. I mean, I was the guy that had this was in the 90s with the Bulls. I mean, I had Jordan stuff up all over my room. I had Sports Illustrated. I would take out the pictures of the basketball players. I slept with my basketball every night. I would be doing this kind of stuff.
And I wrote this song when I had more in my heart than I had in my pocket.
In my high school, my choir director helped me a lot.
That choir director, now retired from Belleville West, is Sharon Carter.
I think I was mainly impressed with the fact that he could sing so many styles. He had such a wide vocal range. And if things came his way that maybe weren't exactly what he wanted, he would persevere and overcome the obstacle and continue with his music.
After high school, Owens spent several years juggling higher education with professional performances. In this photo, Owens shared the stage with University of Missouri St. Louis Chancellor Thomas George, himself an accomplished musician. Owens is a 2008 alumnus of UM St. Louis.
Harmony singer.
Jim Henry is head of choral studies.
He's a real lover of harmony, which is part of what gives him this great sense of harmony. You know, he's a great improviser, but it's because he hears that harmony underneath, and he's always been really devoted to that and grew up harmonizing as well.
Owens says he found himself as an artist singing and songwriting in the military, first with the Band of Mid-America at Scott Air Force Base, then with the Air National Guard at Lambert Field.
We just want to have a great show for the troops that they can relate to. And then it just...
Owens is referring to this video of the National Guard band Sidewinder, featuring singing partner Angie Johnson. You see Owens for just an instant, but when the video went viral, it paid dividends for both of them. Johnson landed a spot as a contestant on the NBC show The Voice. Owens' singing and songwriting talents put him in the spotlight too, and led to a record deal. Among his best-known tunes, Keep Moving On, and I Just Want to Feel All Right.
She was looking for a friend. Help with this life filled with so much rain.
They're actually partner songs. It's like, I Just Want to Feel All Right is the plea. Keep Moving On is kind of like the encouragement. You know, it's like, I feel down, like I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I've tried all these things. But at the end of the day, you gotta keep moving on.
All we need is love.
On April 2nd, 2012, Angie Johnson and Brian Owens teamed up at Shock City Studios in St. Louis to record a duet for Owens' new album, Moods and Messages.
Oh, love is all we need. Love is all we need. Love is all we need.
Brian and I have worked well together from the very beginning, which I just think is something that, you know, was orchestrated from above, because I've sung in a few Air Force bands now and never had this dynamic with another male vocalist.
And I think what helps that is that we really are like involved in each other's lives off stage. Like we talk, we talk about life. Like we don't just talk about music. Matter of fact, 90% of the conversations that we have off stage have absolutely nothing to do with music. I mean, now, even though we both talk about career paths and all that kind of stuff, we always talk about it in a specific context. So it's not all about, so what you doing next?
Street lights, people.
9 days later, Staff Sergeants Johnson and Owens and Sidewinder performed at the White House. It's all pretty heady stuff, but they say what keeps them grounded is their faith.
Oh, and I see His face, oh, in everything I do.
The Ferguson Heights Church of Christ lends balance to Owens' life, as do his wife Amanda and their 3 children, Ella, Ellington, and Langston. For Owens, a higher power put music in its proper place.
I think I have something to offer in that way, and then all of a sudden you get a realization from God that, well, maybe that's not what I want. Maybe you're just a vessel for something that has really nothing to do with you and everything to do about the people you come in contact with. Well, that changes your whole perspective and how you view and do music.
Have you enjoyed yourself tonight?
This performance at the Rock House in St. Louis on March 6, 2012 was part of a pre-release party for Moods and Messages. At 31, Owens might be considered by some in the music industry as relatively old to be launching a national singing career. And there was a time he would have agreed with you, but not anymore.
I just feel like I'm in a really good place. Like, had this stuff happened to me when I was younger, I would have messed it up.
I think it's his time. He's put in a lot of time and he's done a lot of different things. And he has a different quality to his voice and a different quality to his style. And I think maybe the world's ready for something like Brian.
People have been in the industry for many, many years, feel that he has the potential to be a superstar artist, for certain.